Okay, so with it being roughly about a week since Firefly launched, I'm here with my first impressions on Firefly as a character overall. So mainly like my other first impressions, I was going to be talking about what I think about her, how good is she, do I have fun with her, is she one of my favorite units, favorite teams, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, that's mainly it. I'm gonna now have to say this is a disclaimer for every video. If you guys don't know, currently I have actively 2 copyright strikes on my channel. I already have videos covering over why, so you can definitely go check that out if you're interested. I'm not going to mention it past this part of the video, but I am going to be mentioning this on every video going forward just in case this channel does get deleted, because if you guys don't know, 3 strikes does mean deletion of the channel. So if one day you wake up and this channel isn't here, that's why. So in order to have any updates, I do have a second channel that you can go to called Vortic and Starro. I will now have a link to that channel in every upcoming video's description that you can check out just in case something does happen. But yeah, everything else gonna be normal. Before I get to the video, drop a like, drop a sub, hit the bell icon for more videos like this. I'm finally getting off the Elden Ring DLC to talk about this. And yeah, let's get straight into it. So, as I mentioned, it has been about a week since Firefly did come out. As from everything we knew about the kits as it was progressing throughout the beta, I already kind of expected to have Firefly be at this very powerful spot in usage-wise, aka like strength-wise. Basically meaning I expected her to be one of the best characters in the game. You can kind of already tell with the fact that she had self-sustainability, was able to implant fire weakness extremely easily, was easily able to have uptime in the ultimate, was able to give self all these kind of buffs like a bunch of speed, break effect increase, or I guess weakness break efficiency increases. And on top of that, having a best in slot free-to-play teammate with the Super Break and Harmony Trailblazer, and then also having one of the best characters in the game being Ron May as another best in slot teammate. So, for the most part, I was able to expect her to be one of the best units in the game. And lo and behold, she does release, and what do we see? She is one of the best units in the game, practically Acheron level. Acheron obviously does fare better in some situations, and Firefly fares better in other situations, but the general consensus right now is she is one of, if not tied for the best unit in the game. At least DPS wise. So again, with all the stuff she did and the team she had available and ready for her, I was expecting her to be one of the best units in the game, and again, I was right about that. But then it came to the fact, did I really enjoy using the team? I'd say overall the team, is pretty fun. It's funny just to see numbers going around, just break all that, but as I have mentioned multiple times in the past, I am not a big fan of Unga Bunga AoE. Starro is kind of a game where AoE is very prominent, except at least in the neo-apocalyptic mode, which by the way, best one in the game, you can't tell me otherwise. And so overall, I was kind of sad about that, and that's why if you guys do remember with Boothill finally being a single target character, I was extremely excited. And so yeah, Firefly kind of became this pretty Unga Bunga AoE character. You don't really have to think too much. It's kind of just like using Acheron, you just kind of go, get all, just kind of go, rip out. It's kind of just like how the game is. You honestly don't really have to plan much about it, at least in the state the game is now. So, again, as I mentioned, not the biggest fan of Unga Bunga AoEs, and so overall, I am not having the greatest time using her fun-wise, I guess you should say. Like, I can definitely see why people enjoy using her. I definitely am not going to downplay her potential. I definitely still think she is easily up there, better than characters that I like using. I'm not going to deny her potential or anything, but for me personally, I'm not having that much fun with using her. So most of the things that I have done to use her has mainly been on seeing my friends play, playing on my friend's account, trying out different builds on theirs, trying out different builds on other stuff, friend supports, all that kind of stuff. Because if you guys don't know, Firefly is the first character I'm skipping. I have not skipped a character since 1.5. I just personally do not have much of an interest. But obviously, I did go ahead and try out different builds, check what's best, trying out what's best on multiple different accounts. Personally, I do find her boring, but she's not like super boring where she'd be a character that I'd actively just not use if I had her. Well, maybe that's not true because, again, I'm someone that does have a lot of options now on their account, so I can run different kinds of teams. But overall, I don't think she'd be at the point where I would just straight up avoid using her. Because sometimes I just want to get stuff done, so she'd be perfect in like that. But overall, fun-wise, I definitely do not think she is up there for me. If it makes you feel any better, it's the same thing with me and Acheron. I don't really like using Acheron too much because it's also just Unga Bunga AoE and then go crazy. So I guess talking more about other characters that are not really like her, but just kind of comparing on a DPS side. Like for a perfect example, the other break character that we got, Boothill. I prefer using Boothill infinitely more than Firefly because I love the single target playstyle. I love being able to choose who to attack, planning it out, not just putting no thought into it, and just kind of going and sort of repeating tries to see what I can do to get faster and better clears. I guess that's kind of a side for me that comes on to optimizing runs and speeds in games like Arctites, and sometimes if I mess up something in FGO, fixing that. That's probably where that side comes from, and I just love single target characters. I love putting reasonings to behind what I'm doing, rather than just like, oh, haha, support, AoE, bop, win, 0 cycle, woo! Pretty much, I just like having a lot of thought behind what I'm doing. And so using single targets, you guys do know using single targets in this day and age, again, besides Apocalyptic Shadow, like Pure Fiction is a complete mode where you just don't use single targets. It has been really rough, and if you look at most of my favorite characters to use for favorite teams, Mono Quantum, Zele being mainly single target, Boothill mainly single target. A lot of characters I have most fun with being like follow-up characters that are single target. That whole premise, you can sort of tell I'm more of a single target gamer. Not saying I don't like AoEs, but when it just comes to pure Unga Bunga and not really thinking about it much, then it's sort of like eh. So overall, on a fun scaling, I don't think I'd put Firefly anywhere near as other characters I have fun with, such as the Mono Quantum team, which is one of my favorite teams that I could actually use again, which I used to get enough to get max stars on the Neo-Apocalyptic mode. Shout out to Mono Quantum. And then characters like Boothill, the follow-up team, and then if we're gonna talk about other AoE characters, I guess, would be something like Danheng. You can kind of say Danheng is an Unga Bunga AoE character, but at least with him, if you just keep spamming it out, even with Sparkle, you can eventually lead to the point where you just completely run out of skill points, and then you're just wasting turns. So at least there's that. But again, once again, I have to really reiterate, I am not downplaying on her potential at all. She is so easily one of the best units in the game. But for me personally, she is just not for me. This is first impressions, it's kind of my opinions. She is broken, but she's just not a character I'm really interested in or like using too much. And yeah, that is practically it for the first impressions. Let me know what you guys are thinking about Firefly, because I'm sure most people, if not probably 98% of the community, loves using Firefly, because she is a lot of people's new favorite characters, especially when you include Sam into the equation. And then because she's also broken, and people love broken characters because Sorrow is kind of getting to the point where the stronger characters will obviously be dominant, because that's just how any gacha works. And because she's becoming a lot of people's favorite character, that's another part. So yeah, I can see what most people would generally think about her being one of their favorite characters to use, because she's already one of their favorite characters in the story, or just favorite characters because she's broken, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, me personally, I not really anywhere near one of my favorite characters in the story, nor do I really like using her, so is what it is. And yep, that is kind of it. Once again, I will reiterate what I said in the beginning of the video. If you do one day see this channel missing, it's because of the copyright strikes. I do have videos covering those that you can check out. I will leave a link to a second channel which will have any updates just in case something does happen to this channel. Because, who knows, eventually I could wake up one day and the channel's gone, and then I'm like, alright, well, I'm left with this other channel, so I gotta do something about that. So if any day this channel is missing, that other channel that you see linked, Vortig and Starro, will be the one you can check for any updates. Because the moment something happens to this channel, or at least when I wake up, because they like to do it at night for whatever reason, I wake up and then I'll instantly get on posting on the channel. So again, stay tuned for any of that. Hopefully this channel doesn't go, because I did put a lot of work into this channel so far, but what can I do? Anyway, yep, that is my first impressions of Firefly. Once again, let me know what you guys think about Firefly so far, and yep, peace out.